All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me once again on The Truth with Ben Jokes, your favorite political talk show. Stop spreading lies on health sector. Nigerians will show you way out in 2027. AAC party warns Tinubu government. In a statement issued by the party's chairman in Oyo State, Kayode Babayomi, the AAC alleged that the government had been pushing false narratives on social media, claiming that foreigners were coming to Nigeria for proper medical care. However, the AAC party argued that the reality is far from this claim, citing the brain drain in the health sector with over 40,000 Nigerian doctors practicing abroad compared to only 9,000 in Nigeria. We live in a country where people prefer to seek care at private hospitals rather than government institutions. Nigerians are becoming increasingly aware of these issues, and the end of such practices is near, as people are ready to show the current administration the way out of office come 2027. And it's such a shame that with the despicable state of the health sector, Tinubu and his cronies can go about lying to Nigerians that foreigners are coming to this country to treat themselves. Things are going so bad in this country, and instead of rising up to do the right thing, these guys have taken to propaganda. And I commend the AAC for coming out to dispel the lies of Tinubu and his cabinet. And few hours ago, ASO Rock came out with another propaganda as Tinubu's spokesperson cried out over the attack Tinubu is receiving from Nigerians because of the failure of his administration. And concurrently, the update on APC chairman GANDUJE and the Southeast began making the rounds. GANDUJE is begging the IGBOS to join the APC, but the reactions of the IGBOS to that update was not far from what was expected. Before I show you details of these top stories, let me quickly show you these videos. In this first video, former Minister of Justice Michael Andoka was talking about the process of setting up a tribunal for electoral offenders, which is a new initiative that Nigeria wants to embark upon. He said he began such a process when he was in office, and all they planned to do was to send young people to jail, not to punish criminal INEC chairman or political actors, but to send young Nigerians who work for politicians to jail. Can you now see that the elites will never harm themselves, but will continue to oppress the people? See the video.
We propose electoral offenses tribunal. But, I left office, so we don't know what came out of it. Ours was to have an electoral offenses tribunal to deal with electoral offenses. The idea was to create a deterrence. It should be speedily. It should have no other jurisdiction but to deal with matters relating to electoral offenses. And it was an executive bill, actually. It was sent to National Assembly. I don't know what came out of it. I really don't know. They can revisit that. It is desirable, and I agree with the INEC chairman, to have an electoral offenses tribunal, because the issue of electoral offenses are part of the corrupt practices affecting the election. And if people are punished, penal provisions and even other sanctions, there will be deterrence. Young people that are eager to serve the politician will find themselves in prisons, and the other young people around the environment will not like to participate in that. And that was the basic in which, if you look at Justice Way's report, electoral offenses tribunal was specifically proposed.
You heard that. That was former Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Michael Andoka. They were going to set up a tribunal for election offenders, and the major provision was to jail young people working for politicians. How about the politicians they are working for? Are they above the law? Do you kill a tree by cutting off the branches or by uprooting it? If you want to solve a problem, you go to the root cause of the problem. And in this case, politicians are the root cause of electoral offenses. And he said he agrees with the INEC chairman that an elections offenders tribunal is necessary in Nigeria. Please, who is the number one election offender in this country? Is it not the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu? He was paid about 200 billion naira to ensure the use of IREV in the presidential election, and he failed to do it without any reasonable explanation. Is that not an offense? He is the major reason we need such a tribunal, and if the tribunal does not intend to jail people like him, then the initiative has failed even before commencement. And that is why some of us have concluded that only a revolution can save this country. Because these political elites will never enact laws that will jail their colleagues. Only a revolution is the way out. Period. The next video here looks at the reactions of Nigerians as regards the proposal of the National Assembly to create 31 additional states in Nigeria. See the video.
I'm here at AYA, a famous bus stop in the nation's capital. I'm here to get the thoughts of some Nigerians that will find here to the news that the House of Representatives received memoranda for the creation of additional 31 states in Nigeria. So I'd like to ask them, would this be for development, or 67 states in Nigeria would stretch the resources that we have and make it thinner?
The country they do, the 36 will get, nobody okay. We can't get extra. Those 36 supposed they okay first.
Creation of 31 state, what is the rationale behind that? For me, it's political. People just want to use it to eat money, and then everybody wants to be independent. At the end of the day, the poor masses suffer such thing. It's a bigger wings, the so-called politicians who are going to benefit, not the poor masses.
I don't think that's the solution to the problem Nigerians are facing right now. There are more to what the government can do than creating a 31 states.
Anything what they like, make them do. Because they still will want to do, but they it for their mind. So if they like, make it forward. But if they like, make it do the thing where they in their mind. Because the thing we go tell us, but they're different. The thing we go do, but they're different.
I sampled the views of about 15 persons on and off camera, and it was difficult, if not almost impossible, to hear someone in support of this proposal. So what does this mean? Your guess is as good as mine.
You saw that. Words from the streets there. I'm still waiting for the day the National Assembly will come up with a bill that directly addresses one problem in Nigeria. You know, there are so many problems in this country. And anytime these so-called lawmakers come up with a bill, you find over 90% of Nigerians criticizing it. Out of the many problems, they can't just choose one to solve. The only notable thing this Fifth Assembly has done is changing the national anthem. And that has even caused more confusion in the country because as it stands, over 85% of Nigerians can't sing that national anthem. And now they want to create 31 more states so we can have about 29 more evil state governors. And there is the argument that state creation will further spread the sharing of revenue. But how about we focus on getting the current 36 states to work effectively? How about we get the state governors to eschew corruption in the use of the present revenue they are getting? How about the governors becoming productive so as to generate more revenue for the state? This is how other parts of the world are thriving. But of course, the lazy APC politicians will never think in that direction. And it's just a shame. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that update coming out of the southeast Nigeria. The APC chairman GANDUJE persuading the IGBOS to join the APC. And next is that update by Tinubu's spokesperson decrying the attack on Tinubu by Nigerians. Let's start by taking that update coming all the way from the southeast. Look at how the papers reported it. APC chairman GANDUJE has called on southeast states to strive to connect to the center through the ruling party. National chairman of All Progressive Congress, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, has urged states in the southeast zone of the country to strive to be connected to the center through the ruling party. Ganduje stated this in Oka on Saturday during an event to inaugurate the state secretariat of the party, procured, equipped, and furnished by two of its governorship aspirants, Mr. Paul Chukwuma and Professor Obiora Okonkwo. This is coming as aspirants of the party, including Chukwuma Okonkwo, Nicholas Ukachukwu, Chukwuma Umeoji, and John Bosco Ununkwo, have pledged to win the state governorship seat for the party in the November 8th election if given the ticket. Ganduje, who addressed party faithful, described Igbos as the most nationalistic tribe in Nigeria and that there was need for them to connect to the center by keying into the APC so as to properly gain the dividends inherent in the country as a reward for being nationalistic. He said, "We are here to inaugurate the party secretariat and to hold a meeting with stakeholders to discuss issues, obtain ideas, and take resolution to ensure where we are going. Of course, you know where we are going. It is the government house. We must be focused. We must have plans. We must have vision. And I can see that the party in Anambra is fully aware of that. You have 5 states. We pray for more states for you, but you must strive to connect to the center. We want to connect you to the center. We want to plug you to the national grid. Now, politically, you are under rural electrification. You are under generator, and this is unacceptable. You need to connect to the national grid. You are the most nationalistic people one can find anywhere in Nigeria. Everywhere you go, you must see the Igbos doing one thing or another, and that is what being nationalistic means. Why then do you want to cocoon yourself in one corner? We want to take you back to the good old days of Ojukwu, when he was pardoned to return to Nigeria in the interest of one Nigeria. The days of Nnamdi Azikiwe. I have resolved to do it, and we have seen the vigor in you, the intention, and we will do it starting from Anambra." Two of the aspirants, Mr. Paul Chukwuma and Professor Obiora Okonkwo, stood out as the most popular choice of the members of the party. They both pledged to ensure victory for the party if handed the governorship ticket. Chukwuma said, "We are here because we want to take Anambra and connect her to the center. Today marks the beginning of victory for APC in Anambra." That is it. And this is what I always say. Ganduje is there now. He's the APC chairman. He's a man from Kano State. There's nothing he can really do to take Anambra State for the APC if the people of Anambra don't support him. And you have seen that Chukwuma and the other guy, Paul, they are willing to help Ganduje and the entire APC grab Anambra State. The Southeast has 5 states. 2 of them belong to APC. How good are those states doing? They are about the worst states in the Southeast. Yet, this man wants to grab his own state for the APC. And this tweet here by Mazi says, "We do not want to connect with criminals, stuffing kickbacks from contracts. We do not want to connect with rogues and criminals whose livelihood is on the feeding bottle called Nigeria. So shut up your stinking mouth and stay out of the Southeast." And Tochukwu here says, "And if I may ask Mr. Gandola, what is happening at the center, if not massive stealing and corruption? Are those APC states in northern and western Nigeria better in growth and development? What is APC offering Nigerians? Only bad leadership." That is it. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to this, that update from Tinubu's spokesperson began making the rounds. Look at how the papers reported it. "I don't expect Nigerians to keep attacking Tinubu," says presidential aide. Special Assistant to Bola Tinubu on Constituency Affairs, Khadijat Omotayo, has called on Nigerians to cease criticism of Tinubu regarding the removal of fuel subsidies, emphasizing that the policy aims to benefit all citizens. Speaking at a town hall meeting in Jos, Plateau State on Saturday, Tinubu's aide defended the administration, highlighting ongoing economic reforms and social initiatives. Omotayo argued that the funds saved from subsidy removal have been distributed among states and that Tinubu has already implemented salary increases for workers with further increments expected. She said, "I don't expect us at this point to keep attacking Tinubu, who wants dividends of democracy to go down the states. If Tinubu is a partisan politician, he won't let me come to Plateau State. As we all know, it is a PDP state. but I'm here to represent him just because he wants to carry everybody along. When it was an election period, we fought for it and you got it. After the election, we have to carry all the good people of Nigerians along. Yes, Tinubu has removed the subsidy, but the resources accruing from that removal have been shared with all states. On the issue of salary increment, when last has any president of the country increased the salary of workers? So I think Tinubu needs a little thank you from us. He has not spent 1 year in office and he has increased the salaries of workers, and he said this is not going to be the end of salary increment for workers during his tenure. Please, we need to be asking our representatives questions and not to be attacking Tinubu. He is rich enough to sit down in his house and say, I am not contesting, but he wants to bring back the renewed hope to Nigerians, and that is why he said, I want to do a Milokon, she added. I think this Mrs. Khadija Tomotayo is having serious mental problem. She requires very urgent mental evaluation, very urgent medical attention. First of all, she said Tinubu had not spent 1 year in office before he increased salary. In case you don't know, Mrs. Omotayo, several parastatals in this country have not started receiving the paltry minimum wage that you did. 70,000 naira minimum wage. You broke the entire agreement you had with labor leaders. They proposed 150,000 naira. You said no, you are going to give them 70,000 with a promise that fuel price will not exceed 614 naira per liter. But even before you implemented the 70,000 naira, you are taking fuel price to over 1,000 naira. That was what your criminal government did. I know you know, but you are also a criminal. And the claim that other presidents did not increase salary is a very childish lie. Obasanjo doubled salaries. Jonathan and even Buhari increased salaries. You said that the money saved from subsidy has been shared to state governments. And the people in the state are saying they are not feeling anything. So what are you telling me? That previous governments were paying subsidy on petrol, and that enabled everybody in Nigeria to buy petrol at 200 naira per liter. And you said we were not benefiting. Then you removed the subsidy and took petrol from 200 naira per liter to over 1,000 naira per liter. And you claimed you saved money from the subsidy removal. And you said that the money you saved, you have given it to governors, and the people cannot see it. So wouldn't it have been better if you had left that money as subsidy sums so that the people can buy petrol at 200 naira per liter? So what is the gain here? You increase the price of petrol and you don't know what you did with the money. Is this not recklessness of the highest order? But we are very sure that you know what you did with the money, because when the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, was asked to tell Nigerians at the Senate how he spent the savings from subsidy, he required a closed-door meeting. He said the press and everybody should leave. Let them have a closed-door meeting, because he couldn't tell Nigerians how he spent the money. Why didn't he just tell the press how they shared the money to the states, if that was what he actually did with the money? You criminals. And reacting to spokesperson Omotayo's speech, trying to get Nigerians to stop attacking Tinubu, Aminu Ida here says Nigerians will continue to attack Tinubu until life comes back to normal, just as he met it. Jessica here says, and this is how he is leading the country. Nigeria's healthcare budget is 46 billion naira for 200 million people. Nigeria's education budget is 48 billion naira for 200 million people. Nigeria's legislators' budget is 125 billion for 465 people. The politicians versus the people. This is food for thought. And Adewale Damilare here says Tinubu's decision since he got into office will continue to make him a scapegoat for attacks from the citizens. And Better Nigeria here says the removal of fuel subsidy has not brought about more development to the states where the money has been given to. Instead, it has brought more pain and perjury to Nigerians who are already on the verge of dying from hunger and starvation. And this is no coincidence. He knows what he's doing. He will just take the largest part of the money, then he will give state governors their own so that they will go and embezzle. You know, when 36 state governors have embezzled plus the FCT minister Nyesom Wike, and he embezzled his own, nobody will be able to hold anyone accountable again because we have all embezzled the money. So their pain actually with the subsidy regime was the fact that Nigerians were benefiting from it. They were pained that the subsidy was allowing Nigerians to buy petrol at 200 naira per liter. That was their anger, and they decided to remove it so that Nigerians can suffer. What a shame. But when we say this, some Nigerians don't just get it, but we will not stop. We will continue saying it until all Nigerians will come to the knowledge of the evil that the APC is. And maybe then, just maybe then, Nigerians can cast aside their sentiments, unite, and kick the APC out of power. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una. Nah, I dey here, so don't go away. Don't go away.